Greetings. This is Dr. Ray Lindley. I'm the Executive Director of Ray Global Educational Services. We are really thrilled that we have been able to present to you some outstanding consultants who have consented to work with us and work with schools in their improvement efforts to become better schools. I have with me today Mr. Khaled Mohamed. Khaled and I have been friends and work partners for several years now, and I've had the privilege of being in many of the teams with Khaled, and I know that he's a true professional, and he works very, very hard at making sure that we really do our best to help schools, help students. So Khaled, welcome, and it's great to have you be part of us. And I'd like to just begin by saying, would you please just kind of tell us a little bit about your background, your education, your training, and your experience in education?
Sure. First of all, I'd like to welcome you, Dr. Ray. I'm so happy and proud to be with you and to be your guest. My name is Mr. Khaled Abdul Hakim. I'm 55 years old. I graduated from the Faculty of Arts in 19...
Oh my goodness! I thought you were 25. You hold it well.
5 years old. I graduated from the Faculty of Arts in 1987. I started my work or my journey with education as an English teacher because as you know, Doctor, I do love teaching. I started as an English teacher, then an English supervisor, then academic principal. After that, I worked as an educational consultant with a lot of companies and educational consultants at the same time at a lot of schools, guiding them and preparing them for improvement and for accreditation, as you know, Dr. Ray.
That's great. And I know that you've also been very familiar to many of the schools in Saudi Arabia because you have been so willing to be helpful. In fact, I have to tell you that recently I've been watching some of the workshops that you've been doing and offering for schools, and I think it's just outstanding what you've been able to do. Tell us a little bit about what you have seen maybe in some schools that you think, wow, this is really good stuff. And I think these kinds of activities or programs or whatever ought to be available to other schools.
First of all, I've watched a lot of exciting and amazing experiences at a lot of schools here in Saudi Arabia and outside Saudi Arabia. Let me start with the schools outside Saudi Arabia. First of all, the first school was in Kuwait, 6 years old. I was so inspired and impressed, not only by the school, but by the leader whom I accompanied him in this school, Dr. Lindley. I was highly inspired by the healthy learning environment at that school, Al Hayat bilingual school in Kuwait. I still remember the headmistress who was able to create healthy learning environment for her staff. She could instill the spirit of passion among her staff, and I was highly inspired by that because most schools or most school leaders consider that only the educational process is important, and they neglect the spirit of passion, the healthy environment that can attract all the staff to love their schools. That was very good experience. I still remember. In that visit, I was highly inspired because I stayed with my leader for 3 days. I could have a lot of his great experience through these 3 days or those 3 days with Dr. Lindley in Kuwait. I still remember our fruitful discussions about education there. Also, I was highly inspired by your treatment to the students in classroom. I still have the photo that when you kneel down on your knees to greet the students, and the students, I still remember his eyes when he looked at you as his father, and you attracted my attention, and I still remember the word that you told me: if the teacher has passion, he will be successful. So this is the experience. I was highly inspired outside Saudi Arabia. Inside Saudi Arabia, I was highly inspired by the new owner of my school, Al Afaq International School. Most, or let me say, Dr. Lindley, a lot of owners think financially, but that person thinks educationally, educationalize his own way of thinking. He treats with you as your helpful support to push you forward. He only thinks, not only thinks of financial affairs, but also for educational methods, teaching strategies. You can feel that you are talking with a teacher, not with an owner. This is a good experience for me, especially these days, because most people think financially, but that person that doesn't think that way. So this is the new experience here. Also, a lot of schools here in Saudi Arabia, especially in the new school, they had great interest to the foundational levels. They instill the culture of teaching. They instill the culture of educational activities that can support the students to prepare him for the high level. Also here in Saudi Arabia, I was highly inspired by Imperial International School when the teachers were highly, let me say, attracted by the educators to make the effective alignment between the standards and the content. 6 years old, it was brand new, as you know. So this concerning the experience here in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I have to ask you a question. You said something that may be, because I remember the visit in Kuwait, and you said that she inspired her teachers. Can you think of one thing that you maybe saw her do that really was part of this inspiration that she transmitted to her teachers?
I could remember that one of the teachers was preparing to make a demo in class to show us how he uses his technology, and she prepared herself the laptop for the teacher, and she tapped on his shoulder, be calm, you should have self-confidence, don't be panicked, don't be afraid, we are one team. The way she treated her teacher inspired me a lot. We were talking together at that time. You told me, look, Khaled, how she treated her teacher in a civilized way.
Yes, and you know, that's really interesting because I think you and I are on the same page when it comes to how we work with other people. There are no minor players in schools. Everybody is a major player, and I've watched you, and hopefully you've seen it in me, that we treat everybody with respect, and that permeates throughout the whole school when we see that. So thank you for pointing that out, because I had forgotten that, patting her on the shoulder, but that's the kind of thing that really helps us feel like a community in the school. That's great. Well, Khaled, it's really great to have you be one of our consultants. And the reason we have consultants in Array Global is because we know that schools might be interested in having somebody work with them in a consultant basis. And we have been very careful about choosing people we know who have a lot of experience and a lot of ability to work with schools. So I guess my question is, what are the areas you would feel most comfortable, most excited about helping schools should they ask you to consult with them? What specific areas would you think would be some of your best opportunities to help schools?
Thank you for this question, Dr. Ray. I could help and support schools in designing their plans, starting supporting school from the very beginning, from scratch. How could they set their school vision and mission on which the whole educational program will be built? Also, I can train them how to align between the implementation of the standard and the content. Because some schools, as we used to visit a lot of schools, they deal with the standards as files. But in our training to schools, in our agency Array, in our agency, we prepare schools to implement, to understand first the academic standards, then how to implement them, how to design the curriculum mapping for a teacher to be a roadmap for him through the whole year. Let me say that the teacher is the backbone of the educational process. That's why he should be well prepared. We have a collection of excellent workshops that can support teachers to be a professional teacher when entering the class. When the teacher enters the class, he will be a professional teacher in dealing with the content and dealing with the different skills that he wants his students to achieve. How to make school improvement plan in all branches: safety, evacuation drills, management. We have a good system of school management to have school quality in management system, learning management system, in the effective use of technology. We have a lot of plans to be implemented, but the field, let me say, the field that I could support school professional development plans and the implementation of these plans on training teachers on different strategies.
So I think, to summarize everything you just said, it's a package. It's not just one little piece. We have to look at it in its entirety. And when we really look at it in its entirety, we really can help schools because that's really where it is. So it's not just the teaching, it's not just the curriculum, it's just not how we treat students, it's not how we administer, it's not how we work. It's the whole package of all of these things that help schools be successful. And the other thing you said, which I really, you've been with me enough to know that this is really important. Whatever we do, we have to have that our major goal is to help students learn. That's number one, what we do. And all of these things that we can put together to assure that the programs, the curricula, the testing, whatever, is really one purpose: to help students learn. Because someday they're going to be teaching us, probably. and they're going to be minding the store with other people that might be educators, they might be doctors, they might be attorneys, but how we inspire them to learn will help them forever in their lives.
I want to add a little points that we always guide the teachers and the school administrators that all the educational process is for the sake of the students. If you plan and you implement, we want to see your plans reflected on the students' performance. This is yes. the sign of success, the students' performance.
Yes, it's easy sometimes if you don't have that motivation. It's easy to think, well, this school was built so I could have a job. No, this school was built so we can help students, and that's the whole reason we're there. Well, Khaled, you have been very inspirational in what you've had to say. As I mentioned to you earlier, we're very happy to have you as one of our consultants. I would share with anybody who is interested in working with Khaled, please contact us at arrayglobal.org. We work with all of our consultants to help this happen. And we, especially for those schools in Saudi Arabia, where Khaled is located, that would be a very convenient thing. And I think if I'm understanding correctly, you could teach or you could help schools both virtually and in person. And so both of those are options that you would consider. So Khaled, thank you so very much for being part of us, as I said. Thank you for this time today. I hope that as we work more together, that people will understand the real high quality of educator that you are. And you have a lot to give, and we're happy that you're giving it to schools. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ray, for this amazing interview. Hope to meet you here in Saudi Arabia again. Thank you so much.
Get COVID-19 over and we'll be there.
Inshallah, sure. Thank you, Dr. Ray. Thank you.